October 10th, 2017. Welcome to the Philly podcast. Now, today, I know I didn't do one yesterday, but yesterday was a Victory Monday. A very big win, very sound win, and that I have not seen an Eagle football team look more poised in a while. The Eagles have a chance in these next three games to prove themselves that they are the elite. Okay, so Thursday night's Carolina. Then we have a extended week after Carolina to play the Redskins on Monday night. And then, we have another short week to play the Denver Broncos. So we can learn a lot from what this team will do on Thursday night, is what I'm trying to say. We will learn a lot. Here's why. So this is a 4-day week, okay? The Eagles are playing an away game against another 3-1 opponent in Carolina. And, okay, so, you're going to see how this team is on a short week. And plus, they are playing on the road. And, I believe that there is more of a home field advantage in college than the pros. So, if they can go down on a short week, beat a 3-1 team on their field, we can get something special. Then we're going to have an extended week to prepare for Washington, which is probably the biggest game out of these next three that we'll play, because it's against a divisional opponent. We get to put them away. I think that they're the biggest threat right now, and plus they will beat the 49ers this weekend, and that will make that game so much more bigger, that Monday Night Football game. So if you win these next two games, if you take two of the three, at least two of the three, next three games, I will consider this team a definite playoff team. A definite playoff team. I will guarantee that this team will make the playoffs. They will have 3 wins against the division. They will beat a very good opponent. And then if they end up beating Denver, they beat a very good defense. A very good defense. So that you are going to learn what this team is made of in these next 3 games. This week is the biggest, because you will see how this team will respond from a short week. And I know Carolina has to deal with the same thing too, but I want to look at this team. I want to look at this quarterback, and I want to look at this whole unit right here, referring to the Eagles. They prepare for 4 days, probably 3, because they're going to have to travel on Wednesday. So 3, they're going to have to fit in a week's worth in 2 days. That probably did, yes, I don't know. Got to fit all that preparation in, fit all that game plan in. Go bring it down with them to Carolina. Boom, play a football game. And I know that Carolina, they probably have the advantage of this. I would tell you that the Eagles will win if this were reverse roles, if they were playing this game at the link, because I believe, first of all, I think Carson Wentz is probably, he's up there in terms of preparation. I mean, he's up there in terms of preparation. That's a guy that works hard. You see what he does. You see his schedule. You see what he does on an average day, which they put out a few weeks back. Like, he goes, he works. You see that. So you can tell that. I mean, like he goes in at like maybe what 5:30 in the morning to the NovaCare complex. He's not there. He's not. He doesn't come back till like 8 or 9. He's just working. He's working on his game film. He works. He practices. I think he does. Some days he does. Press conferences. Obviously, I think that's probably once a week. But that guy prepares, and it starts with. And most people would say it starts with the coach, which it does. I mean, the coach has to make the game plan. He has to call the play. Doug Peterson has to call the plays. The coaches have to make their decisions. But the quarterback preparing for. I think Carson Wentz's preparation will outmatch what Cam Newton and that team is doing. It starts with the quarterback. It starts with the quarterback. Carson Wentz knows how to prepare, and to be honest with you, I know, Brady's very good at preparing, game planning. Rodgers, all the elite quarterbacks. That's why they're elite. But Carson Wentz will come to play, come with a plan, come to play and come with a plan for this game on Thursday night. And I think that will set the Eagles apart from the Carolina Panthers. You run through the schedule and you say that the Eagles, they beat 3 bad teams. They eked by 2 of them. Now, listen, I will say that the Giants, I'm talking about this little winning streak we've been on. The Giants game, I guess you can say, was a miracle. We should have put that game away when Ertz had that ball. We should have put that game away, but ended up winning on a miracle 61-yard field goal. Then you move into the 49er, the Charger game, and I think the Chargers. I don't think they're their record. They should be at least a 3-2 or 2-3 team, and their kicker effed them twice. If you guys remember those 2 games against Denver, the Monday night opener against Denver, and the game against Miami, that Young Ho Koo. I mean, they should be at least a 2-3 or 3-2 team. All right, that's what they should be. But and I'm not, but they come in 0-4. They're gonna come with a little bit of fire, with a little bit of passion, and to be honest with you, I actually thought that was a good win. I thought that was a good win for the Eagles. I really did. I know they should have beat the Giants worse. So, but they're 2 wins. And then, I think, we just looked effective against against the Cardinals, who probably, you could flip-flop the Cardinals and the Chargers records. Because the Chargers are probably a 2-3 team. They play like a 2-3 team. They have players that could be a 2-3 team. And you give that. I mean, I'm just telling you what what they're more like. I'm telling you what they should be. The Cardinals are like they're one. They play as good as a 1-win team, and they beat two of the worst teams in football in overtime. 49ers and Colts. Those are their 2 wins. But they signed Peterson today, so we'll see where that goes out in the desert. And probably things will be different. He did have David Johnson, Karen being a running back, so if he wasn't hurt. So, all right, so that's that. We're gonna really see what the deal is with this team these next 3 weeks. Lane Johnson's probably not gonna play. What's his face? Cox is probably not going to play. But, there is a chance that, Cox, Darby, Jones, all 3 of them could play in the Redskins game, which I think is probably going to be the biggest out of the 3, which will probably be the biggest out of the 3 games. So, yeah. And then, like I said, Lane Johnson's not going to play, so, I mean, we'll see where that goes, but I think they'll be all right without him. So that's it for the Eagles. We're going to move into college football. And, these next, like the Eagles. Oh, sorry, just messing with my audio right here. Like the Eagles, we're going to learn a lot about college football these next couple weeks because, we have learned a lot about college football. You learned how good Oklahoma was losing Iowa State. Then the one game that caught my eye was Michigan and Michigan State. And, Jim Harbaugh gets all the credit in the world, and they think he's a top-tier coach in college football. People think he's a top-tier coach. People think he's up there with the Myers, the Sabins. He's up there with, what's his face? He's going to be like another Paterno or another Woody Johnson, or another Woody Hayes, or Bo Schembechler, Beckler, one of them. The way, don't get me wrong, I think he puts out pretty good teams, but he doesn't put out good enough teams. And I know that they lost a quarterback and everything, but that guy's not done anything at Michigan. That guy's not done anything. And it looks like he's not going to do anything again at Michigan. In 3 years, people wanted that. People thought that team was going to be a legit playoff team these last couple of years with the way things played out in the middle of last year and now this year. So, before the state game. But that guy, what good is he? Seriously. I know he's done good so far for that program, but they treat him like he's the next. And also the media too. They treat him like he is God. And I know he went to the Super Bowl, and I know he can recruit, but that guy is not there with Meyer, with Saban, and all that. And we saw that exposed on Saturday night. You have another coach in D'Antonio who is very good. He took his team to a playoff. He's taken them to bowl games. Now, I know he hasn't won nothing either, but he outcoached Harbaugh. And Harbaugh lost to a team that Notre Dame blew out. And it doesn't get any easier for Michigan. I know they have Indiana this week to rebound, but then they have to go to Happy Valley to play Penn State on the 21st, which is the primetime game on ESPN. That is going to be, and I will tell you this right now, that is going to be a big, fat loss for Michigan. That's going to be a big, fat loss. And then, as right now, I think they will lose to Ohio State. So that will be a 3-loss team. At least. What has Harbaugh done? He's not going to take them. I don't think he's going to. He will not take them to a Big Ten championship game. He will not take them to a playoff. I don't think Harbaugh would. I think he'll put together 10-win seasons after 10-win seasons after 10-win seasons at Michigan. But he will never take his team. He will never win. He already did take his team to a big bowl game, and that was the Orange Bowl last year. But he won't win one. He won't. Won't take him to a playoff, and he won't. And and if they do go to a playoff, that which means they're going to have to win the Big Ten championship. They will lose. They'll get blown out. So I don't think Harbaugh's there. He's just there to be, to fire up the media and to raise ratings and to put Michigan in a good light. They've not done anything. And to see him lose against Michigan State. Michigan State. Team that Notre Dame blew out 38-18 on their home field 2 weeks ago in a primetime game. Crazy. crazy. Michigan is, if they don't do anything in these next 2 to 3 years, they don't think if they don't win any big game, bowl game, they don't go to a playoff, if they don't win the Big Ten championship, it's over. I mean, it's seriously, it's over, over. That's they expected a lot of it. I mean, by then Harbaugh's recruits should begin. I mean, Harbaugh does have a lot of his recruits in. And they're not going to beat Penn State. They're not going to beat Ohio State. They're not going to go to a Big Ten championship. They're not. They are not. So, yeah. Georgia still impresses me. They moved Notre Dame up to 16th. I know for a fact, and then I think I think they're number 3. Are they number 3? I don't know. But they blew out Northwestern. They're on their bye, and they will play. They will come home for their whiteout to play Michigan State, which will be then they have Michigan and Ohio State. They win those 2 games. Going to the Big Ten championship game, I would probably say they win the Big Ten championship game, and then they'll make the play. They're to grab both those games. There. Obviously, Notre Dame beat North Carolina. It was a good win. They weighed the quarterback in, but that leads to another. Notre Dame is also on their bye, and then they're going to come back home to play a big game against Southern Cal, USC, a big rivalry game at home, which I really like that matchup because USC is, you just see how they struggle with Texas. They struggle at home sometimes against, decent opponents, and then they lose. I mean, I know they beat, but this is what USC can do. I mean, they can drop it. They can lose. They're beatable. And then they're going to go to South Bend. They have not had a lot of success on the road against ranked teams, obviously, this year because, they lost to Washington State, and a little bit they had some issues against UCLA. So I think Notre Dame's going to beat them. I really do. And then you look at Notre Dame's schedule going down forward, it doesn't get any easier. It's the time, if Notre Dame wins out, we will be a playoff team. We will be a playoff team, and plus we already have one ranked win, and Michigan State is now ranked. They're now ranked. I think they're in the 20s. I forget, but they're ranked. So they go to play USC, who's 16, 13. Then they get NC State, who's 20. This is from this week's rankings. They get a little break against Wake Forest. They go to South Beach to play Miami, which is going to be a tough game, and they're gonna go back home to play Navy. I will be at that game. They're 25th ranked, and then they're gonna go play Stanford, who's a ranked team. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ranked teams. Five ranked teams that they'll get a chance to play if they're still ranked. In these last few games of the in this, the stretch after the bye. So it's just not going to get any easier, but we're going to see what we're made of. And 3 of those games are at home. So, yeah. But, I think Notre Dame will be fine because, we play Georgia, and Georgia's a good team. I know they just played us, but, they're going to give Alabama a run for their money in the SEC championship game. I wouldn't even be surprised if they win that game against Alabama. I mean, a lot of teams are having some issues with Nick Chubb. A lot of teams are having issues with Jake Fromm, who's been leading that team. So they can be a good team. They can be a real threat, the Georgia Bulldogs. So, Clemson, I think Kelly Bryant went down. Did he go down? Yeah, they only beat Wake Forest by a couple possessions. Um, but he'll be fine. So, all right. So we're going to talk about the MLB playoffs a little bit. Um, the Dodgers have moved on, completing a sweep to go to the World Series, and they will play the winner of Washington and Chicago. The Yankees have tied the series up with Cleveland. And I will tell you this right now. I want to see the Yankees. I want to see Yankee Dodger World Series. I really do. Here's why. I mean, it's just I'm just a classic person. I like I like it when I like it when teams bring back classic uniforms. I like it. I like classic. I just like classic stuff about sports, like stuff that you saw before, like retro. I like it big in uniforms, like the like I just like classic stuff, like a like in like the Phillies pinstripes is classic. Like a classic. What else? Flyers jerseys are classic. The Flyers logo is a classic logo. Then, as much as I hate them, the Giants have a classic field of their away jerseys. I mean, you look at pictures from back when they played at Yankee Stadium, or the days that they played at Yankee Stadium. Like the jerseys almost look the same. So I've always liked that kind of classic stuff. All the college teams have their classic jerseys, like stuff that they will only wear, like Notre Dame, the gold helmets. Ohio State, with their scarlet helmets. Michigan with the arrows, I guess you can call them, on their helmets. Just like classic stuff. But one thing I don't want to see this year is a Yankee Dodger World Series, which it would just be great. It would be great because it reminds you of the old days. I mean, remind people, it'd be like when the Yankees played the Dodgers, when the Dodgers were in Brooklyn. I mean, just seeing those colors mix. And I know they played in this. I think they played in the '70s with Fernando Venezuela. I mean, it would just be a great series to watch. With this Dodger team and the Yankee team, seeing Bellinger and Judge go at. I mean, it would be great. So, but the Yankees, if they were to win and move forward, they would have to run through Cleveland. They're going to have to run through Cleveland, and then they're going to have to go play Houston, who clinched against Boston in Fenway Park. So that's going to be a little hard for them, obviously. Going down, playing that, going against that rotation. But the Yankees, if you, I mean, I'll tell you what, Girardi has to make good decisions here because his contract is up, and they're going to have to figure out what they're going to do with him. Obviously, if he makes good decisions, they're going to try and negotiate a contract extension if they can. Who needs a manager right now? We do. Our lovable Phillies, and they can go out and grab them. So, and the Mets need a manager too. So, he could probably go across town into Queens. So, yeah. So that's the whole ordeal with the playoffs. Also, Washington. Yeah, did I say Washington? Yeah, I think Washington's. I think I said Washington's playing Chicago in that game. I think it's 2-1 when they brought that back to Wrigley. I forget. So, I check my trades on them. Someone else for me to trade. Fantasy football. Sitting 2-3 right now. Sitting pretty strong. 2-3, 6th place. Got a lot of points. All right, here we go. Here's my. Oh no, he rejected my trade. Okay. We did 2 pending trade proposed to Benix. No, I'm not doing that. That was a stupid trade. All right, so That's it for MLB and the Flyers. We get to watch the Flyers. I get to watch the Flyers for the first time tonight. See what they're made of as they go to play Nashville, 8 o'clock. So that should be a fun time to watch, fun game to watch because they've just been on the fucking West Coast, and I don't get why they're playing out there to open up the season, which is very inconvenient. So it's just bad. So yeah, so we get to see them play um, tonight, and then we move forward to next week to the Sixers. Starting, which there's just so much anticipation. A lot of people are going to the preseason games and trying to evaluate this team. And I will tell you this right now, that team, I mean, they have a shot to be good. They have a shot to be a very good basketball team, but they also have a good shot at being an overrated team. Because I'm telling you what, right now, I'm excited, but I'm not. In a way, I'm not confident. You're going to try and get a Joel Embiid to stay healthy. You're going to try and get a Ben Simmons to stay healthy. You're going to try and get maybe a Markelle Fultz to stay healthy because he got hurt in the summer league. So, he's a little bit susceptible to injury. And then that leaves Redick and what's his face still in there? Sarge. So, with the absence of Embiid and Sarge, none of these guys have played a game together on the NBA court in a regular season game. We will see that next week. We will see that. So there could be some chemistry problems. Thank God the one with Wentz and Alshon and all those receivers has been working out the way we hoped. But there's a chance that the Sixers. I don't think the chemistry is going to be a big problem, but I think the problem is keeping these guys healthy, which is going to be a big problem. Some games you're just going to have to sit Embiid. Some games you're just going to have to sit Embiid. You just are. If you think he's susceptible to injury, you're just going to have to sit him. Same thing with the others. So, but hopefully it's going to be another fun year for the Sixers. And hopefully it'd be a fun year for the Flyers, and then we move to baseball. See, hopefully everything just goes well. All right, please, just go well. All right, so that's gonna be it. I got a good 27 minutes in, so all right. So thanks for tuning in. I will see you guys tomorrow, maybe. So all right, see ya.